Hi and what's up everyone? In today's video, we are going to present about the limitation of activity-based costing or simply known as ABC. Before we get into the actual content, let me introduce my team members. Starting off with myself, Rinita Murali. Following me in the presentation will be Nik Ainatul Safia binti Nikma, Nur Adlin Hazwani binti Hamidi, Wan Nur Nazifa binti Wan Muhammad Mansur, and finally Nur Zalika Mira binti Nur Azlan. The presenters will be going in this exact sequence throughout the presentation. Alright, let's begin. So before diving into the limitations, let's take a moment to understand what activity-based costing or ABC actually is. While many organizations rely on traditional costing methods that spread overheads broadly, ABC is a more refined system that aims to assign costs with greater precision. It's designed to identify the actual activities involved in production or service delivery and assign costs based on how much each product or service consumes those activities. Now, this sounds great in theory in more accurate costing, better pricing strategies, and clearer visibility into where resources are going. But the challenge lies in turning this theory into something practical, especially in real business environments. Malaysian studies, like those by Ahmad, Sulaiman, and Alvi in 2017, as well as Hashim and his colleagues more recently in 2022, have shown that while companies do acknowledge the strengths of ABC, many still hesitate to adopt it fully. Why? Because the limitations that show up during implementation are often much harder to manage than expected. Next up, the challenges in implementing the ABC system. The implementation of the ABC system in an organization will result in major changes and a transformation of the management system of the organization. Thus, during the implementation process of the ABC system, the organization may experience a variety of issues and challenges. Based on a review of past studies on the challenges encountered in implementing an ABC system, these challenges can be classified into two types, which are technical issues and organizational and behavioral issues, with many of these past studies claiming that the organizational and behavioral factors are more problematic than technical issues. Research on barriers to ABC revealed that the time-consuming and high cost of regularly updating ABC model are obstacles emerge as a result of frequent change in processes, activities, and product lines. The out-of-date of ABC system has consequence on the inaccuracy in activity, cost driver rates, and cost estimation on processes, product, and customer. One of the most immediate and practical limitations of ABC is its high maintenance costs. What we mean here isn't just the cost to install or launch the system, but we are talking about the ongoing effort required to keep it running effectively. Companies must constantly update their data, review cost drivers, train staff, and sometimes even invest in new software systems or dedicated personnel to handle the process because these activities add up financially. According to Abdul Majid and Sulaiman's case study in 2008, several Malaysian companies found themselves questioning whether the benefits of ABC were worth the ongoing investment or not. Even Hashim pointed out that many SMEs struggle to justify the continuous financial and operational resources required to maintain the system. In other words, once the system is in place, the work doesn't stop. And for smaller businesses in particular, that can be a real burden. Another major issue is complexity. ABC isn't just expensive, but it is also intricate. Implementing the system requires firms to identify every relevant activity, determine accurate cost drivers, and collect a lot of data regularly. It's not a plug-and-play system. It needs attention and cross-department coordination. Ahmad noted in their 2017 study that most SMEs simply don't have the manpower, time, or technical expertise to keep up with this level of detail. The process can become so overwhelming that companies either oversimplify ABC, which defeats its purpose, or abandon it altogether. And even for large firms, the effort to maintain the accuracy of activity-based data over time becomes increasingly challenging.
While ABC is widely known for its accuracy in assigning overhead costs, the process behind it is not as simple as it seems. The first challenge is the volume and detail of data required for ABC. Unlike traditional costing, which uses broad average, ABC requires specific data about each activity, such as machine setups, quality check, or customer service interaction. According to Kaplan and Cooper 1998, companies must trace resources usage to each activity and then link those activities to individual products or service. To do this, businesses need to conduct interview, observation, and time tracking studies. This process can be labor-intensive and may disrupt daily operation. For example, employees may need to record how much time they spend on different tasks, which add to their workload and can lead to reporting fatigue or inaccuracies. The second complexity lies in accurately identifying activities and selecting cost drivers. Activities need to be defined clearly. If they are too broad, like production, the data won't be meaningful. If they are too specific, like answering phone call between 3 and 4 p.m., the system becomes too complex. As Sunny 2005 explained, striking the right balance is key but not always easy. Once activities are defined, you must choose appropriate cost drivers, the factor that cause those activities to incur costs. Some are easy to measure, like the number of machine hours, but other like time spent on custom design are subjective and harder to quantify. As Jury 2013 notes, using the wrong cost driver can mislead decision makers and defeat the purpose of using ABC altogether. Next is the issue of system integration. ABC requires pulling data from multiple departments such as finance, operation, human resource, and logistics. Ines and Michelle 1995 found that many firms struggle to implement ABC because their information systems aren't compatible. For example, if the finance department uses one software and operation another, aligning the data for analysis becomes difficult. Even with modern technology, real-time data sharing across departments isn't always available, especially in small or medium-sized enterprises. This creates delay and inconsistency, reducing the reliability of the final cost data. Finally, ABC system require regular updates to stay accurate. Business activities and processes change over time. New products are launched, suppliers are switched, or customer demand evolve. If the ABC system does not reflect these changes, the cost allocation becomes outdated. Gunasekaran et al. 1999 argued that maintaining ABC system involved ongoing reviews, retraining, and reconfiguration, which many firms aren't prepared for. These add to the long-term cost and complexity of using ABC, especially for companies without dedicated accounting teams. In summary, while activity-based costing offers more precise cost information, it brings significant challenges in data collection and analysis. These include the need for detailed data, identifying the right activity and cost driver, integrating different systems, and keeping the system updated. Organizations must be fully aware of this complexity before deciding to implement ABC.
One major limitation of activity-based costing or ABC is that it's less effective in organizations with homogeneous products or simple production processes. ABC is designed to improve cost accuracy by assigning overheads based on actual activities. This is especially valuable in companies with diverse products and complex operations such as custom manufacturing or service industry, where overhead costs vary significantly across different outputs. However, in In environments where products are very similar or where the production process is standardized and straightforward, ABC often adds unnecessary complexity. In these situations, traditional costing methods like applying overhead using machine hours or labor hours are often sufficient for decision making. For example, imagine a factory that mass-produces identical plastic bottles. The production steps are highly repetitive and indirect costs like supervision, maintenance, or utilities are easily spread across all units. In this case, there's little variation in resource usage between products, and ABC wouldn't provide significantly better cost insights. Research supports this view. A study from EconStore in 2020 found that ABC is less effective when indirect costs are minimal or when production processes are simple and consistent. So, while ABC can be a powerful tool in the right environment, it's not universally applicable. Organizations with low complexity may find the time and resource needed to implement ABC outweigh the benefits. Choosing the right costing method depends on the nature of the business. ABC is best suited to complex industries with diverse outputs and significant overhead costs. Another big problem with activity-based costing or ABC is that many people don't want to change how they currently work. To use ABC, a company usually has to change its system and the way employees do their daily work. This can be uncomfortable for both workers and managers. Here's a few common reasons why people resist ABC. First, they don't understand how it works or why it's needed. The second one, they are worried it will make their jobs harder or more complicated. And the most significantly happen in our environment is they don't like their usual routine being changed. Research shows that resistance from staff and no support from top managers are major reasons why ABC often fails in companies. According to Kaplan and Anderson in 2007, even if ABC is a good system, it won't work if people aren't involved or trained properly. For example, a hospital tried to use ABC, but the plan failed. Why? Because nurses and admin staff weren't included in the planning. They didn't know how to use the system, felt confused, and didn't want to cooperate. The way to make ABC work is company must focus on helping their people. It means the top manager have to giving good training, explaining the benefits clearly, and making sure leaders support the change. If staff feel supported and understand the system, they are more likely to accept it. But if not, even a great costing system like ABC can fail.
Now I will be talking about one of the key limitations of activity-based costing. It is overemphasis on cost accuracy, which can sometimes become counterproductive. Where the goal of ABC is to provide more precise product or service costs by allocating overhead based on actual activities, the pursuit of this accuracy can result in significant drawbacks. ABC is designed to provide very accurate cost information by tracking activities and assigning costs based on actual usage of resources. This means companies often collect a lot of detailed data like how much time employees spend on specific tasks, how many resources are used for each activity, and how frequently those activities occur. One major risk is called analysis paralysis. This means that managers are bombarded with so much data that they struggle to make decisions. They might spend hours debating over the tiny differences in cost between two activities. Differences that might not even impact the business in any meaningful way. Instead of focusing on strategy or innovation, they are stuck in spreadsheets and reports. Let's give me an example. Imagine a manufacturing company that produces 50 different types of products. Each product goes through different processes, uses different machines, and requires different support. To apply ABC properly, the company would have to identify dozens, maybe even hundreds, of activities and assign costs to each based on the number of time they occur on the amount of resources they consume. That's a massive amount of data to collect, sort, and analyze, and it has to be done continuously, not just once. Another issue is that collecting and maintaining this level of detail takes a lot of time and effort. Employees may spend more time feeding data into the system than actually using it to drive results. It can also be expensive, since more detail often means more advanced software and more training for staff. The effort and expense invested in achieving this ultra-detailed accuracy can result in diminishing returns. Companies end up spending more time and money perfecting the numbers than actually improving the business. What's more, focusing too much on minute details can cause managers to lose sight of the bigger picture. For example, they might be so focused on reducing the cost of a small support activity, like reducing paper use in admin tasks, that they overlook larger opportunities like optimizing the production process or exploring new markets. In the end, the company might be saving pennies but losing ringgit in missed opportunities. And we have to remember that not all information is equally useful. Just because you can measure something doesn't always mean it's worth measuring. If the extra detail doesn't help the company make better, faster, or more strategic decisions, then it becomes a burden rather than a benefit. So, while ABC can be a powerful tool for understanding where money is really going, we have to be careful not to let the system take over the decision-making process. Too much focus on detail can actually lead into slower decisions, higher costs, and a loss of strategic direction. That's why the overemphasis on cost accuracy is considered one of the major limitations of activity-based costing.
Now let's look at one of the Malaysia SME that implements ABC, which is Telekom Malaysia TM, a major telecommunications company established in 1986, began implementing activity-based costing ABC in 1986. Led by the Finance Division. A manager from the Network Strategic Cost Management Division played a key role in identifying activities and cost drivers and in overseeing the rollout. ABC implementation at TM is gradual, starting with the network or engineering divisions, especially in switching and local access area, and is ongoing in the international area. Marketing and Human Resource Department. Currently, TM operates with two costing systems, which is network costing for capital expenditure and ABC for daily operating expenditure. The company aims for full adoption of ABC across all departments in the future. What makes TM implement ABC? TM implemented ABC primarily due to increased competition, which required more competitive pricing to regain market share. Another key issue was high overtime costs despite underutilized workers, prompting the need to understand actual work activities. Additionally, changes in TM's business structure made the existing traditional costing system unreliable. The finance manager believed ABC would be more suitable for the new structure. Lastly, the company was motivated by the desire to adopt a modern and relevant costing tool for today's dynamic business environment. Next, let's talk about the stage or process that the implementation of ABC at TM followed by the Honorable LFC 2005 framework. Initiation and adoption. A working committee with costing staff, network or engineering personnel, and other relevant employees was formed, led by an experienced strategic cost management manager. A top-level steering committee oversaw the process. TM hired external consultants to train employees on ABC softwares, Orus ABC, and net profit expert. Next up is the design stage, where the committee identified cost pools through a web-based input system from TM workers nationwide. Initially, 500 cost pools were identified but were reduced to 50 after consultation. To ensure employee commitment and reduce resistance, staff from the department worked closely with the committee, dedicating 2 days per week to ABC with management support. Next is the implementation stage, where employees receive software training from consultants for 2 months, after which TM managed the system independently. The working committee customized the system to suit daily needs. Last stage will be usage, where TM applied ABC for pricing, output decision, cost management and reduction, budgeting, new product design, customer profitability analysis, performance measurement, cost modeling, and process improvement, including performance evaluation. There are a few problems faced by the TM during ABC implementation. Initially, top management was skeptical about ABC system, viewing it as similar to previous costing method and fearing it was just a passing trend. They were hesitant to allocate resources to it, focusing instead on other priorities. To gain their support, the finance division ran a pilot test which successfully sparked management's interest. Lower-level employees were also doubtful, largely due to a lack of understanding of ABC. However, as the benefits became clear, acceptance improved. Another major challenge was the rapid pace of technological change in the telecommunication industry. New products and services often emerge before the process flows of existing ones were fully analyzed, requiring constant update. This issue was managed through the use of software tools and improved efficiency gained from past experience. The implementation of ABC and TM brought several key benefits, like help identifying non-value-added and inefficient activities, leading to better decision-making, enabled reduction in wastage, rework time, and overtime costs, especially after discovering that many workers started work only after 4 p.m., allowed the marketing division to distinguish between profitable and unprofitable customers, that serving apartment dwellers was more cost-efficient than landed properties residents. More is enhanced mutual understanding, as engineers gain insight into service costs, while accountants better understood technical process. In conclusion, the implementation of ABC at TM has shown that despite initial resistance and challenges such as rapid technological changes and limited understanding among staff, the system brought significant benefits. This includes better cost visibility, identification of inefficiencies, improved decision-making, and cost savings. While full implementation across the entire organization is still ongoing, ABC has proven to be a valuable tool in enhancing operational efficiency and supporting strategic decisions. Top management support and staff involvement were key to its gradual success. So these are the articles and references that we used.